What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Matt Moreno. And Matt, some breaking news in Dodgerland. The Dodgers have extended qualifying offers to Corey Seager and Chris Taylor, but maybe the more notable piece of news is the guy who did not receive a qualifying offer. That would be one Clayton Kershaw. There was speculation that maybe he would not get one for a number of reasons, but now it's official. They have not extended a one-year, $18.4 million qualifying offer to Clayton Kershaw. So the question is, what does this mean? I'll give you my four possible explanations for this, Matt. Then you tell me what you think and what you know. The first possible explanation, if you want to be the eternal optimist, is don't worry about it. The Dodgers already have an agreement with Clayton Kershaw worked out. They didn't want to deal with the paperwork of a qualifying offer, so nothing to worry about. That's option number one. Option number two, maybe Clayton Kershaw is really, really hurt, and even a one-year, $18.4 million deal didn't make sense for the Dodgers, or they just want to kind of wait and see how that plays out. Option number three, maybe he's interested and has expressed interest in going to another team, say hometown Dallas, Texas Rangers, and the Dodgers, as a favor to Clayton Kershaw, not wanting to sort of rub him the wrong way on his way out, have not wanted to put any sort of shackles on his ability to leave in the form of a qualifying offer. Or number four, which is the one that none of us want to speak of, but has to be mentioned in a conversation like this. Is it possible that he is actually planning on retiring, and that is the reason for this? Matt, am I missing anything? Have you heard anything? What do you think about the possibilities of why Clayton Kershaw did not receive a qualifying offer?
Yeah, no, I don't think you missed anything. Those are definitely I guess, four most likely scenarios that would
Yeah.
kind of explain why he didn't get the qualifying offer. I was definitely shocked when the team only announced that it was extended to Seager and Taylor. The only, I guess, quote unquote, reporting, if you will, which we have up on DodgerBlue.com, and it was from, Jeff Passan kind of canvassing the league, was there was somewhat of a, not an expectation, but a belief that perhaps the Dodgers wouldn't extend the qualifying offer to Kershaw because then, at least under the current CBA system, it attaches draft pick compensation. Um, I, I I guess if I had to guess, that sort of makes sense, but also, like we've talked about on several of our other shows, like Clayton Kershaw is not necessarily somebody we see leaving for the Texas Rangers, which if whenever Kershaw possibly leaving the Dodgers is brought up, the Rangers are mentioned in the next breath. Which, yes, from a hometown standpoint, it makes sense. But Kershaw has also been very open for several years about valuing what the Dodgers have done in terms of being a World Series
Yeah.
contender year in and year out, and he's somebody who wants to win. Um, so I guess that might be the most likely scenario. I personally, like I was on here before, I think it didn't surprise me. I guess from the standpoint of, I think both parties might have just agreed, hey, let's see how your elbow is, or your forearm, I guess, if you will, because
Yeah.
Kershaw has maintained that it's the flexor tendon and not anything else. Um, so I think that's also maybe the next likely
Yeah.
scenario, if you will. I don't think he has started throwing. He did mention, like I said, when the NLDS was starting, that he was going to give his injury a ton of time to recover because he wasn't able to do that during the season. So my suspicion would be he probably hasn't started playing catch and may not until maybe the first week of
Yeah.
December. And then at that point, that is sort of overlapping with the CBA deadline and a possible lockout.
Yeah, and I'll put a slight tease in here. I did an interview with former Dodger Scott Van Slyke, who actually came up through the minors with Clayton Kershaw. And I asked him about all the guys who are going to be free agents, and I asked specifically about Kershaw, and he made a comment, I haven't talked to him about this in at least a year. So he has talked to him about it at some point. And I asked him, which would you be more surprised about, if he retired or if he signed with another team? And the sense I got is that he'd be more surprised if Kershaw were to leave to go to another team, which is where I stand. It just doesn't add up. If he wants to go back to Dallas, I don't think he's going to be playing for the Texas Rangers. I don't see how that adds to his, career in any way. I think he would just retire. But the thing about well, they're doing him a favor. I mean, it's not really doing him a favor. Like if he wants to go to the Texas Rangers, having a qualifying offer attached to him does him no harm personally. It hurts the Texas Rangers and having to forfeit a pick, but it's not like the Texas Rangers are going to say, hey, Clayton, we're not signing you unless there's no pick attached. Like, that piece doesn't make any sense to me. And I think the one thing with Kershaw that is encouraging about this is the qualifying offer, to some degree, like in the case of Corey Seager, is a perfect example. You throw the qualifying offer out there for the sole purpose of, if we lose this guy, we're not going to lose him for nothing. And also just sort of to protect yourself. Like, hey, we don't know. It's a wild card what's going to happen with Corey Seager. Like, the Dodgers could make the highest dollar value offer to Corey Seager, and it's possible he says no. Like, there is a scenario where the Dodgers do not have control over Corey Seager. From my perspective with Kershaw, they don't have to worry about that. I think it's going to be open lines of communication. If the Dodgers want Clayton Kershaw back, I would imagine that he's going to be back. And so maybe they just said, hey, we're not going to deal with the qualifying offer. We're not going to offer it. You're not going to reject it. And maybe it's because there's already conversations of either I'm playing for you or I'm retiring. And if that's the case, then the qualifying offer does you no good anyways. And so the headline here is, if you're listening to Matt, if you're listening to me, it's a mystery. Literally nobody knows. You know, this news came out a few hours ago, and in the hours since, nobody has gotten any strength of sort of opinion there. There's a number of things that could possibly happen. There's a lot of speculation, but it remains a mystery. And so stay tuned to Dodger Blue 1958 here on YouTube. Stay tuned to DodgerBlue.com. We'll have the latest updates for you there, but we'll see. Again, the headline here, Chris Taylor extended a qualifying offer. Corey Seager extended a qualifying offer. I love, the Dodgers just tweeted, we have extended a qualifying offer to Corey Seager and Chris Taylor, and everybody's response was not anything to do with Taylor or Seager, but where's Kershaw? Where's Kershaw? Where's Kershaw? The answer, we don't know, to be determined. So we appreciate you joining us. That's Matt Moreno. My name's Jeff Spiegel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your night. We will talk to you soon. See you then.
The best team holding a trophy high in the air. The Los Angeles Dodgers, champions of the baseball world.